Okay. Well, with that out of the way, it is my pleasure to introduce JankPickle. Jank,
Hello.
welcome. How are you
Hi.
feeling?
Well, we're here. I
we
just
are.
got back from work. I'm not warmed up enough for this, but we're gonna do it.
I think you will do great, and I appreciate your flexibility. This run is a trip. It's the execution required for this category is higher than I think a lot of people realize, and I cannot wait to see it. Do you want to say anything at the top?
Yeah. Just to start, I do play this with 2 controllers, so I'm going to start by selecting both characters, and then timer starts at OK. And I'll explain why we do this in a sec.
Okay, and just for spoilers for the audience, I have just luckily happenstance happened to run this game on a different category, basically the glitchless any percent version. So I'll be trying to assist a little bit with commentary tonight, but my knowledge only goes so far. So we're all kind of in this scuffed run together. But I know you will do great. I cannot wait to see it. Do you want me to give you a countdown?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Mario.
All right. So we start off at this intro here. We're just going to hold right with Mario. Yoshi just gets dragged around. Pretty funny. And we're going to be just skipping through these cutscenes as quickly as possible.
Would have
But
been
to
nice if
start,
all the cutscenes were skippable. For some reason, only just a handful of them are.
Mm-hmm. And then to start off this level, I'm actually going to be moving over with Yoshi. It's just for the ideal overworld movement. And you can't see my controller, but I'm playing with 2 controllers at once right now. I jump using some control over Mario, so I'm using his trunk still. And so that's me using trunk on player 1 while playing as Yoshi. That was a pretty good opening. That first coin is really hard to grab, but yeah, that worked pretty well.
So I noticed you skipped the Wonder Flower. Do you want me to talk about what the Wonder Flower is, or do you want to explain why you skipped it?
Yeah, go ahead and explain what it is.
So, sure, I'd be happy to. So the Wonder Flower is kind of the new shtick in this version of the Mario 2D side scroller. If you can't, in some levels it's hard to discover, in some it's kind of mandatory, but it sort of is a transition point. Like if you acquire that as a power up, essentially the level can transform into sort of a different mode, and that mode is unknown to you for your casual playthrough. It can be anything from turning the lights out to turning the level upside down to making piranha plants sing. It's wild, but it turns out it's slow sometimes.
We're actually going to have an interesting case in the next level where we activate it, but we don't collect the seed at the end of it. Because we don't actually need the seed in World 1.
That's true. The seed is the important part that I forgot. You're supposed to
have Yoshi out
go
at
ahead,
all.
go ahead.
Oh my god. How did I hit that? Oh, that was silly. I accidentally grabbed the fire flower. I don't think I've ever done that. Marathon firsts.
And we'll take it.
Yeah, so the reason I have Yoshi out at all is because after this next level, there's going to be a skip. This category allows for 2 players while the other ones do not, and we can use it to... there's an out-of-bounds clip. We'll get there in a sec, but first we're going to do Skedaddlers, which is a pretty fun one to watch. It's just another showcase of the 1P2C in levels, because we're going to hit this block using Mario's trunk to pick up some extra coins. Make sure we don't pick up water or we get rid of it. It does slow you down if you finish level with water in your trunk. And then pick up this shell. And just some jumps. There we go. And this is the one shell trick we have. I did a shell jump.
The movement is so clean. Like this, the first couple levels are, there's optimizations for sure, but Skedaddlers is really where the run starts. There's so much precision to everything that's done throughout this level.
So what I just did there was I did not collect that Wonder Seed. We activated it because it gives us the star power, which is faster than just regular walking. If we were to collect that, we'd have an animation that would slow us down. And we would lose our star power. So we finished the level without collecting it.
This is where I would love a cutscene skip. Because we are going to be stuck in cutscenes for about 2 minutes, I think.
Yep.
It's worth saying that the seeds are sort of like stars or moons or something in another Mario game. Like you accrue them over time, and then they're used to unlock other later levels. Essentially, they're unique to each of their worlds. So like World 1 seeds can only be used in World 1, and you always get one for finishing a level. So that's just kind of like how it works generally. But the extra seeds, we try to avoid when possible. Normally, you would try to hit a target. So like if this palace was 15 seeds, I think 14 seeds, you'd try to get exactly 14 as fast as possible. We don't need them at all in World 1, which you're about to see. Well, I guess no, we still got the house to go through. Do you want me to explain, or do you want to explain sort of what's about to happen in the second half of World 1?
I can try.
Okay, I would love for you to.
It'll be a fun challenge. So right now we have a badge house. This introduces the badge mechanic, which I'll explain later, as we don't actually ever use this badge in the run. But right now I'm just mashing through. This has been really not good mashing. But
a lot of mashing in this run. A lot.
Yeah, it's Mario. Why am I mashing?
Yeah, no automatic text skip, and there's a lot of cutscenes with text that cannot be skipped like wholesale.
So you kind of saw the end of the path where it went to an open spot. You can select any level you want, and it's open movement. While we have the paths which are very linear, we can kind of confuse the game as to where player 2 is at. So I'm going to mash through these cutscenes, and by jumping with player 1, pausing and reselecting characters, it'll push us out of bounds. So let's try it now.
And that's why Yoshi
controller
has the crown, right?
Yes. I haven't explained the crown mechanic. I forgot to. Aww.
That's okay.
Unfortunate.
While you set that up, I can explain. The crown is just like the winner, so to speak, of the level you finished most recently, right? So as long as Yoshi finishes higher on the flagpole, I believe, they like gain the crown. I don't actually know why that matters as far as like the skip is concerned.
Oh. That sucks. So yes, it matters because only player 1 with Mario can go out of bounds. I mean, player 2 can, but it's not ideal because we need the camera control, which is automatically given to player 1 as Mario, or Luigi if we were to be playing as Luigi, but we're not. So I ended up screwing that up. That sucks.
And you came back into this world, which is a super short break time world, just to be able to assign the crown back to Yoshi, correct?
Yes. So this is what happens if I screw up. Which I know you're asking, what's your backup? This.
Yeah, well, this is probably, I wouldn't say it's the hardest part of the run, but it's very inconsistent. And if you watch anybody do PB attempts of this category, this is where that frustration comes in because it's so early in the run and you have to play, a good 5-6 minutes up to this point. just to get those attempts in. And if you've gotten it, say, first or second try in your PB, then not getting it first or second try means you have to reset. So this is like a reset heavy section for sure. And the collision here doesn't work like it looks, right? Like it looks like you're just kind of casually walking, but it's actually like a really tight line you have to walk to make sure you don't fall through like into the void.
Yeah, I walked around a cutscene. That center node extends the 2 dots out, and it forms a circle that you cannot step into, or else it'll take you out of the out of bounds skip and play a cutscene. So I also have to contend with that while contending with my awful D-pad. And if I fail that, I would have to go all the way back to that one level, and it would suck.
Well, that's okay. Let's get some claps in chat for Jank. That was excellent. It took a couple tries, but it was still a great showcase. You can see that we have a royal seed now, which we absolutely did not collect, but the game is just very kind to give us anyway for leaving World 1. We're done with World 1, by the way. Like it's over. We didn't do the palace. We didn't meet the requirements. We just walked out. And that's actually what's so funny about this category is like it's the only world that has an exit you can walk out that has like something after the palace, and that's kind of what makes this all work is just being able to walk out of the world. So I guess we have a little bit of time before the house is done. There's like an intro stage where you get a free seed and it kind of sets up the narrative, the thin narrative of each world. This world, so to speak, like World 7, I guess you could say, is called Petal Isles, and it sort of connects all the other worlds together. And you are supposed to sort of linearly go from 1 to Petal Isles to 2 to Petal Isles to 3 to Petal Isles, and then 4, 5, and 6 all kind of open up for you. The game... what's the best way to describe this? So
it only checks for the ones that it expects you to do on your own. Like it forces you into getting 1, 2, and 3. Except we can get around that. So instead, it kind of checks its the 3 essential ones. Also, this is really awkward because I do this with D-pad, and it does not agree with D-pad. This is very awkward. But I should probably explain what this is. This is a dolphin kick. This is one of the many badges in the game where it gives you an additional movement mechanic. Previously, that was the parachute cap. You can gain infinite height with that, believe it or not. But this one allows us to move just a little bit quicker in water. So that was the dolphin kick. We're going to see it again. We're actually going to use that a little bit.
Now, this is an old Mario trope. This has been in Mario speedruns for as long as you can remember, but trying to hit the bottom of the flagpole does save a little bit of time because we don't have to wait for the animation of the flag like descending to the bottom. So it's a little intuitive. You want to get like the worst position on the pole to save the most time, but that's why we're always aiming for that spot.
We're actually going to say no because it's just a little bit faster to equip that badge in menu.
Now, the reason we're doing Petal Isles now is because even though we're going to use other tricks and glitches to get through to where we want to go, each of the last 3 worlds, worlds 4, 5, and 6. Why did I start with 5? 4, 5, and 6 do require a minimum number of Petal Isles seeds to open. So we still have to hit that requirement. So we're going to try to kind of venture around Petal Isles to the different interstitial sections that are supposed to be done between the worlds and collect all those before heading into 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6 are sort of open world segments in a way. Once you beat World 3 in the Petal Isle segment, the game kind of lets you choose if you want to go do 4, 5, 6 or 5, 4, 6. It's up to you. And because of that, the game only checks for the royal seeds from those 3 worlds. It assumes that you couldn't have gotten this far without the first 3, and that's why we don't actually have to collect the first 3 in the run.
It should be noted that the seeds do not transfer in between worlds as well. So the 3 or 4 we collected in World 1, they don't transfer to anything. They're just stuck there. Also, now I'm spawning in Yoshi again because I'm going to be doing another clip out of bounds. And we're going to be basically traversing the map out of order, like backwards. So that was Robert Cove. And it's a level. The D-pad dolphin kick can really suck, especially in that last section. So I'm glad it went okay.
More of that mashing too. You basically just have to spam dolphin kick anytime you're underwater. So I want to ask a question to chat just to speculate. Prince Florian is sort of our companion in this adventure. What is Prince Florian? Because he doesn't look anything like the. I'm just just consider it. Just think about it.
Okay. So that was another out of bounds thing here. And we're not done yet because there's more. This is where it gets scary. We do a fall, and then we traverse around the boundary of the map. Oh, I thought it popped in there. Did not. Okay.
It's
And
a very tight line. Like, if you move too close, you pop back in bounds, and then you can't continue out of bounds. If you pop a little bit too far outside, then you'll just fall into the void and respawn where you started the skip. So.
Oh, you don't even respawn. That's it. You're just stuck falling.
Well, how do you recover from that?
You have to teleport out.
Oh, okay. We're with the level select. Okay,
Yeah.
fair. Got it.
And if you wait too long to teleport back, you can't even do that. It's just like, uh-oh, it's giving me bad inputs. My D-pad is screwing me over. I gotta fix it. This is a new controller, by the way.
Yeah, the joys of running a Switch game. I mean, console's hard enough because you don't get the benefit of, like, on PC of being able to back up your saves easily or, auto split or anything like that. But Nintendo runs are special like that. They're you usually have to use first-party controllers to get the best kind of responsiveness. And
not even. I think my my player 2 has better D-pad. I just like how this controller feels until you're falling because it gave you a bad input. That doesn't feel so good. But at least it has some heft. This thing is like plastic. It's like holding nothing. But the actual inputs on it are really good.
I do not want everybody to overlook, we haven't even talked about Bubble. But Bubble is like a power-up that was introduced in this game that traps enemies and can activate like triggers on flowers that spawn other things in the level. You can also bounce off your own bubbles, and because bubbles can spawn faster than you can fall, you can chain bubbles together to bubble jump sort of endlessly. And it's actually not too bad to learn. I thought it was going to take me a lot longer to learn, but it's hard to get precise for sure. But it's very satisfying to pull off.
It's a Nintendo intended mechanic, actually. Like they specifically reference it in the quiz as a bubble jump.
Oh, okay. No spoilers for the quiz.
I hope someone's been keeping track of all the Goombas I've been killing. Does that count as a Goomba that I killed?
I have no idea. Yeah, also, there's a lot of implied danger here. It is very scary how close you can get to what appears to be failure in this level. Like, it's actually a little bit more forgiving than you'd think, but it's a great showcase for that reason.
I actually died here a few times casually because I didn't know you could just hold right. Alright. Yeah, so this level's pretty hold right, except for the Wonder Seed. It's not really anything to note that I can think of. Yeah. Next up, we're actually going to be getting the spin badge. So generally, you don't get this until like pretty late in the game, but we're going to be getting it now that way we can do a couple levels that are a little bit faster with it. So like instead of doing Bluebird like right after Robert, because the bird levels go back to back, I don't know why. We're going to be getting this spin jump badge, and it makes that level like significantly faster. Sorry, I feel like I'm spitting word soup right now.
No, you're fine. These challenge levels are generally shorter. They're introduced anytime there's like a new badge that the game kind of wants you to experiment with, and they're spread throughout the game. Sometimes they reappear too. So this is like badge or spin jump 1. There's a spin jump 2 that's a little more complicated in World 6. And
That used to be part of routing.
Yes, I still do it. Thank goodness you don't have to do it because I hate that level. But they're short. You get a very quick seed, and you also can get very quick purple coins, which I don't think we've talked about either. In each level, there's 3 10 coin purple coins, and we use those coins essentially to buy badges and seeds. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was perfect timing. Yeah, so that's the first check we have. And we routed it in so that these seeds are quicker than having to pick up another one later on or at a different point.
I want everybody to pay attention to how just absolutely wonderful the movement is throughout this entire level.
Assuming I do it
on the spot. Yeah. But no, this is such a satisfying level to play.
Oh no, don't do this to me. This is my D-pad, by the way. Oh, it didn't even press down there. Oh,
I think it was perfect. So now the birds are spraying bubbles, rainbow bubbles, instead of what would you call the platforms they spit? Platforms, sure. Let's say that. The ground pound height is a good thing to point out, I guess. If you ground pound in midair, your hitbox moves just slightly up, and it's good enough to sometimes extend your jump so that you can get on top of a platform that's otherwise unreachable, or in the case of like a Wonder Seed or a power up, just barely clip into it to activate it.
That's not good. I might have screwed up. So what I was trying... Oh no. All right, so I was trying to land lower on the flagpole with Yoshi because that would be just a little bit faster, but in reality, I've just screwed up. I finished the level with Crown on Mario, which means I can't do this skip. So back to Hurry Hurry we go.
The backup level, yep.
The backup level, yep.
I guess it's worth pointing out too that like one of the really cool mechanics I think is fairly new to this game. I could be wrong. I'm not a seasoned Mario runner. That you can just tap one of the shoulder buttons on your controller and warp back to any level you've previously visited, and that plays into how easy it is to sort of do these skips and tag a level as something you want to do later, and then shift back to a previous area you're in. So like even though we skipped out of World 1, we can just come back here whenever we want. We can go back to Petal Isles next. It's a very short load between as well. So
honestly, I don't think this has been in a 2D Mario like this before. All right. Okay, good. Oh, not good. So as long as I have 2 players in, Mario will warp back, but once I drop out player 2, if I were to fall, it would be bad. Ooh.
Yeah,
it's
got
really
me
on a weird angle right now. The out of bounds movement in this game kind of sucks. No, I was pressing up and it sucked me back in.
Yeah, so that's a good example of getting clipped back into bounds. Like the game just kind of shifted Mario back into bounds, and now you could walk around that section. You did technically do a small skip, but not long enough to move the run forward.
I'm trying to pause the frame after I jump. There it is. Oh, and it's got me on the weird angle again. So right now it is not linear movement. It's just being weird. Oh, come on. No, it sucked me in again. This is not it. Gonna be real.
That's okay. This is not an easy trick to do. No reset. Can you attest at least to the fact that these PBing in this run is
D-pad.
it's
I've
difficult.
been betrayed. Yes, this is a very hard run.
Like
and
there
it's all
is
the-
a glitchless category. Like if you look at this and you're like, I don't want to reset that many times. Sure, you could run glitchless, but glitchless adds almost an hour more to the game time. So, you know, pros and cons. It's not easy to decide between those two realities.
If you're not on the 1.00 version, then this has already been patched, so you won't be able to do this at all.
Very good point. How are you running on 1.0 right now?
I actually play on physical. I'm one of the few people to actually buy the physical version. I don't know. I might be the top physical runner. I don't know. Not that that really means anything. I just like having the cartridge.
Yeah.
And day of the schedule being released, I'm like, oh, I better get back on a Wonder again. And I'm like, oh, it updated. So I had to factory reset my Switch. That was fun.
Yeah, I think we'll add that one to the list of the joys of running on a Nintendo console and a Nintendo game. But is there any downside to running physical?
Honestly, as far as I know, the loads are not that different. Generally, it does come down to load times, but it hasn't really been tested in this game.
Yeah, I think if it does impact it, I've heard chatter that it's just a few seconds. Like it doesn't seem to be like a significantly noticeable thing, especially because load times in this game seem to vary a bit anyway. Like even if you're on digital, sometimes loads will just be a little bit slower and we don't really know why.
Mm-hmm. Like I preloaded the intro because it saves like 2 seconds. I believe it's got something to do with that. All right, now we're entering World 4. This is Valley Full of Snoodles. The green things, I believe, I don't know what they're called. Probably something stupid.
Probably Snoodles.
Yeah, something stupid. Got it.
Right, exactly.
And it's just nice having a spin badge here.
Yeah, they do like to jump directly into your line.
That was not it. That was not my usual jumps. I was not for that.
So this Wonder Flower slows down time, which is very funny for a speedrun. But it's very satisfying.
Than Bloom's Wonder.
But we're taking a slight detour here. Yeah, that flower activates that 10 coin. And all those 10 coins are routed pretty tightly.
That
like
was
how
weird.
How many how many 10 coins would you say you could afford to miss?
Let's see. In my PB, I had 19 extra. So like that's a lot, but that is ultimately just one 10 coin.
Right, 19 individual, not 19 10 coins, right?
Yeah, 19 individuals, yes. 10 coins being worth 10. But then also in these wonders, we have the tiny coins, which are worth 0.1. At the end of the wonder section, it rounds down to, so if you collected 0.5, that's 0. Now we're in another badge challenge. This is for the crouching high jump. It's like Super Mario Bros. 2. Oh, that was silly. All right. So in like Super Mario Bros. 2, if you hold down, you can charge up a jump. And that's what this is.
And for some reason, the crouching high jump 2 is dramatically easier than the first one. So sure. Like in a speedrun context, I suppose. There's a lot of enemies you have to like time really precisely if you go to World 3 in glitchless. But this one looks like a dream, so I wish I could play this one, but also nice job.
We're through.
It's probably worth saying, like, we actually can't. Well, there's not a fast way to achieve the palace, the necessary number of seeds, like in the palace. like on a good pace. So we mostly, or any percent mostly collects up to the number of seeds necessary to access the palace minus the number you can buy from the shop. Visits other worlds, collects more purple coins, then comes back and finishes World 4. Unless that's been routed out, then I don't know any better.
Nope, that's accurate.
Okay. These
Yeah, so
break
we're
time
actually going to
levels are
visit
great.
that shop right now to pick up the Fast Dash badge. And now the Fast Dash just gives us the fastest movement we're going to see in any percent, where you get P speed, and it is... Oh, it's that. It's just faster.
The optimistic way to look at it is that you get to go faster, and it's a speed run, so like that's cool. Thanks, Nintendo. The pessimistic way to look at it is that now it basically means if you ever want to use a different badge, you have to argue with the time you can set in Dash Badge, which is almost always faster. So it just kind of amps the average difficulty of each level up a little bit, because you can never really run with any safer badge at this point.
And don't even get started with Jet Run. We don't see it in this category, but this game has a auto run badge that just automatically puts you at this max speed. So there was a big debate. Oh, it also gives you a coyote time when you run off platforms. Like right there would be... Oh, nice jumps.
Oh,
Nice jumps.
that last section of Blooms is so bad, and that was flawless. Very nice.
Yeah, if I pick up a backup bubble in Bluebird, because of that jump and the enemy spam that falls from the pipes. I don't know what Nintendo was thinking with that, but they took some notes from not only Mario Maker, but Mario World as well. I would like to throw out some accusations of plagiarism. Bleh.
Well, I mean, the
Because
word
the
play is
bubble
in
flower,
there. So.
oh my god, I miss. The bubble flower actually originated in a Mario World ROM hack. That's my spicy accusation. I don't know which one, but it has been public for many years.
Yeah, I think at this point, this stuff is kind of like an Ouroboros, right? Like Nintendo makes something, people mod it. Nintendo takes stuff, people get inspiration from that. It just, Nintendo's a little litigious. I wish they weren't, but you know, the healthiest outcome is that they just kind of feed each other to better stuff. Okay, everybody enjoy
Fast
this
Excel.
level.
Oh, don't enjoy this level. This level sucks.
It's very
Alright.
hard. It's very fun to watch.
True.
I need
So when
dancing
you jump,
emotes in chat, please.
It there's a timing aspect to these jumps. So it's counting. And if you jump on beat, the count goes up like that. And I'm gonna try and stay at 4 here. Nice. And there we go. Those curtains only open when you're at 4 on that.
Yeah, like 4 consecutive sort of rhythm game-based timing jumps.
I'm known for sucking with rhythm and also playing with like all the distractions in the world. So the fact that that went okay, it doesn't really flow into that third 10 coin very well, but yeah, that was pretty good. Pretty good Ninja.
You mentioned Fast Excel. Do you want to explain that? That's kind of a relatively new thing that was discovered.
So fast acceleration, basically skidding with turning around and skidding, it makes you fast in the other direction. So if you tap left with the stick while holding right or whatever direction you want to be, tap the opposite direction with the stick, like very quickly, you can hit P speed just a couple frames earlier. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but it does add up over the duration of a run. But we're not actually using it here because you need at least some runway to do it.
Yeah,
we're probably not going to see it again until World 6.
It's kind of like a high risk, high reward maneuver. Like if you can get it down consistently, it saves a lot of time. If you find you mess it up a lot, then it's going to lose a lot of time.
This level's anti-Snoodles with the fast. I'm like, so that is completely muscle memory at this point. Like if I mess that up at all, it's like, all right.
Yeah, you can't really process it visually. If you start having to ad lib, I just kind of run to the end and do a wall hop. Like you can't. It's very hard to get back in the rhythm. I mean, that kind of goes for most levels, though, right? Like you can practice. This is a cool speed game because you can practice individual levels without having to practice the entire run, and it's virtually the same experience, other than pressure that you have, in a PB attempt or something. So.
Oh, yeah.
But that also means that the level of play that you see from like the average runner is a lot higher because it's just easier to practice. So the relative requirement for you to learn the game and be like good at executing is, I think, like a much higher bar than your average game. Um, there's just a there's a big community for a Mario game, especially like a new release mainline Mario game. There's a lot of people looking at every aspect, every level, every individual time, and so that's cool. There's so many things to learn, but that also means that to get a quote unquote like top 10 time or something, that you're gonna have to execute consistently throughout the entire run and at a very high level.
Gonna warp out of here. two seeds short because we're actually gonna pick those up later. Now we're doing Muncher Fields. Actually, we're gonna do a fast acceleration here. I did add this one because it's not too hard. Yeah, so I'm going to flick the stick left there and just get it
There
a
you
little
go.
bit quicker. Do some bubble jumps, and we're gonna collect the star. Oh, and also that, because we're gonna be damage boosting. There's not a lot of damage boosting in this run because bubble is just so optimal. Uh-oh. I just really had to show that guy. I think those are called nippers.
I think they're from Mario 3.
Yeah, that sounds right.
This jump coming up, by the way, when we transition to the background, has killed like probably half of my any percent or all Royal Seeds run. So this is so much scarier than it. Okay, well, I jinxed it.
Wait.
No, you still made it. Okay,
I
have
made it
jinxed
somehow.
I'll take it.
You know what? The run still lives. If I were to have fallen, I don't think I collected the checkpoint. So I just have to reset that. But
Yeah.
we're fine.
And
This
not
level's
having a
meant-
backup
this-
power means you can't even do like a fast strat for. Yeah.
I'm going to pick up the one in Item Park.
Okay, that's right. So
Because
World
we're
6
actually
is
going
next.
to World 6 next.
Yeah.
My preferred routing is to go from most of 4 to 6, and then 5, and then finish off at 4. This run has been a bit messy. It's not been super clean, but
That's fine. I think you are the
That's
only
fine.
one that knows that. It has looked great so far. It is running this game at a high level looks so clean for so much of the run that I don't think little mistakes stand out very much. Or at least, I mean, I'm impressed. So yeah, we get to take advantage of the fact that Nintendo built World 6 as a tall level. Because when we clip out of bounds here, we can just fall and kind of hit target levels deeper into the level. And that's good because one of the levels we get to skip here is an airship, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah, an airship in underground airship, sure. Whatever. We'll let it slide, Nintendo.
I had to pull the handle. I don't like pulling the handle. I'm too cool for the handle.
Yeah, the handle this house is always the one that, like, you get so used to the houses not having an intro that sometimes I would run into World 6 and be like, oh right, yeah, there's like
Hold
the
right.
beginning. It's the same thing with 5 or 4, where it has the sand at the beginning. You're like, wait, oh yeah, right, it's not just a house, right?
I usually bubble jump there. I'm going into Item Park here because I want the bubble power up. You can basically just run out of here with any power up you want. So this is basically a checkpoint.
Yeah, I'm gonna repeat that. You can run out of here with any power up you want, and you keep it. And that's not the case anywhere else in the entire game. I ran this game for like 2 weeks before I realized you could do that. And I just want to make sure I'm repeating that so that if anybody didn't know that, you can just get power-ups and leave. It's like the special world in Mario World from the first Ghost House. Super secret special. I don't remember what it's called. Anyway.
Top secret zone.
That's right.
I've played a lot of Mario World.
You play a lot
Although
of Kaizo,
mostly
right?
like ROM hacks.
Yeah.
I come from like Kaizo, Maker, and SMW. And also Lego speedrunning.
I was gonna say, I don't know if this is a good time to bring it up, but you'd think that you'd have a ton of Mario games on your speedrun.com board, and that this was just the most recent one. But it is, well, it's not the only one, but it's basically the only
Super Paper
traditional
Mario.
platform.
I mean, does that count?
It's basically.
It's a cool run. It's just not like what you would expect.
Yeah, it's a platformer RPG. I wouldn't say this is in the same category, but yeah, most of your profile is Lego Star Wars games. So how did you find an interest in Mario World or Mario Wonder?
I mean, I was going to play it either way. I've grown up playing the new Super Mario Brothers games. So I was like automatically excited at the prospect of running the new game. I didn't think I would be towards the top of it, but yeah, it's actually any percent in particular is a fun combination of my previous speed games because I've been mentioning it, but I am using 2 players for some of those strats. That's 1P2C. That's one of the core aspects of running a Lego game is you're controlling both players at once. All right, we're going to do a fast dash here because we're actually going to beat a cycle here. So this is actually it's actually 2 cycles in this level that I'm going to try and beat.
Yeah, the whole level's on like a global.
Oh my god, that was weird. I took damage there. That was my D-pad. Oops, I didn't get the turn back. So this is going to probably not make it. Oh, yeah, now it's definitely not
Even
making
that ground pound. Even that ground pound to miss the Rarg? I don't know. Is spicy. I mean, there's so much stuff in here that's like I'm sure automatic to you at this point, but that even like casually learning the game, it's very difficult.
Clearly not automatic. I'm struggling here. Okay, let's try it again.
Crouch jump. Okay.
There we go. That's the big cycle to make, because there we go. So that's part 1. Part 2 is this next area, and that makes the Wonder Seed section just a little bit faster. Good start. Some bubble jumps. Oh yeah, back to the Lego Star Wars thing. So not only is it a combination of 1P2C, but the out of bounds movement at times works like the isometric camera of Lego Star Wars 1 on Game Boy Advance, which is one of the few games that I have the actual record. Oh my god. That was the cycle. I made it. I may have had to reset like 4 times for it, but I got it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. You know what? It's showcasing it. It's not fast to reset 4 times, but it looked cool.
I'm not counting, so.
Yeah, I was keeping track of time until like I failed World 1 skip twice.
Honestly,
like,
even on that best cycle is still really scary because if you get pinched by those blocks, it isn't just like a ooh owie, I lost my bubble. It's like you're dead. It wipes you completely. But it also takes forever to do it too. It like first takes your bubble, then makes you small Mario, then kills you, but you can't really do anything to recover. It's scary to me anyway.
Stop here. All right. Now we're going to pull, turn, burn. I will not pull the handle. I've already pulled enough handles.
It is worth, I guess, pointing out that there are a lot of optimal strats on display right now.
I thought I was going to die there.
You have definitely learned the majority of like the fast movement or fastest possible movement through a lot of these levels. But if you're interested in getting involved in the game, you know, it's harder to find these, but there are definitely like beginner routes. Like you could play the whole game with parachutes or with spin jump. There's a lot, like you can start, like, because this game is so piecemeal and you play so many levels individually, you could start by only learning a few and then just like casually finishing the game and then slowly kind of learning more levels as you go.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Okay,
Did
so
you
what I was
grab
trying to
checkpoint?
do there was that bone likes to pop you up, and it didn't do that time. The one time it doesn't do that. Okay, I'm being silly right now. Okay.
Okay, so you get to skip the Wonder Seed here then.
Yes. The Wonder Seed takes you to some unknown area. Oh goodness, I forgot about that.
Yeah, normally you'd have Bubble there to be able to snipe the Piranha Plant out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
It can be pretty scary when you don't have the ability to just like wipe enemies in front of you.
Oh yeah, I'm not. This is not going well. I'm like really having to adapt here. I'm going back to Item Park.
There's backups,
Actually, no,
right? Like
not right now.
this is a single segment. It's not on world record pace. It's not on PB pace, but what marathon run is, right?
I was hoping my marathon run.
Okay, well,
Well, that's not happening.
I would say most marathon runs have to succumb to marathon strats at some point. It's very rare that even the best players can PB. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's definitely not like a judgment of your skill if you can PB in a marathon. Sometimes it can happen, but
All
I mean,
right, so
to
this is
me,
the
oh, go ahead.
grapple vine. Yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna explain this badge. You can shoot out a vine, and if you would do it at the if you line up with the top like that, you get a fast dash out of it. But if you were to hit it lower, like that, you shoot up. And just minor optimizations. We're spawning in Yoshi again. All right, sorry, you can go ahead.
Now, this badge is really fun, and I think it's a shame that it's only first, you know, received by the player this late, because it would have been, I just think it would have been interesting to see use of this badge throughout the game. But unfortunately, it's kind of toward the end.
I mean, that was Grapple Vine too. I don't remember where one is.
I don't think it's that. I think it might be 4 or 5, or maybe 3. I don't know. Not early enough for me, either way.
Yeah. We're actually going back to Item Park because this has been a messy World 6, and I need Bubble for these like next 2 levels.
Yeah, a lot of the routing assumes that you have Bubble, right? Because it's the way to stay most consistent. It wipes enemies, and it kind of just lets you chain.
Oops. Let's see here. Do I need... Yeah, I think I do. I don't remember if I need Mario to be in ghost form or not. But since I already have Crown here, I'm pressing right. Oh my god. Alright, so
The
this is another clip.
D-pad!
That's a stick.
Okay. I can't even get it. So, see, the controller's
No,
getting confusing me.
That was the one time it was stick. Every other time has been D-pad. Okay. Oh, and I fell through still, somehow. I thought I figured this trick out, I did not.
It's so funny to me how, like,
That would've been
if somebody didn't explain what was happening, this just looks like somebody is, like a cat is walking on your controller. Like, it's like, what is even happening? We're like in and out of menus and snapping a second player around a checkpoint. Like, until you clip out of bounds, it looks very funny to me.
All right, so this level's pretty hard because this is one of the coins where you have a chance of missing it, and you can't go back for it. So we're going to do this, and I got it. That was just a really tight drop input.
You pick up these water jars, right? And those can activate pickups just like a shell.
Yeah. It should also be noted that I don't think I've mentioned it yet, but you can hit the bulbs with your bubbles just a few frames earlier. Now this is just a... Actually, this is a pretty cool throw. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh, well. That's unfortunate. So I was trying to hit that one from afar. Just try and get through this Wonder Seed as fast as possible. Oh, I wanted to slide through it. It didn't work. Okay. Next.
Yeah, the water bubbles can be pretty annoying. You deal with those also in, what, the World 4 boss fight. And... Or is it 4? I think it's 4. Yeah, because he stole all the water.
Damage there. I took damage there.
This level is an enigma to me. This is like one of the few that is like a big divergence from the glitchless route. There's actually a lot of overlap between them. Not necessarily how you'd flow through the levels, but at least like the general vibe of kind of how you get fast movement in a level. But this one and the next level I think are pretty unique to any percent.
Alright, so I'm actually not going back for bubble. We're gonna get through these diversions, these like break times. I guess they're called breaks. I don't know. Pick up elephant here. Because you can water these rocks. It's a neat little mechanic. But since I lost bubble, I'm going to have to pick up a backup. I'm going to try and pick it up in Wavy Ride. That way I don't have to go back to Item Park again. Oh my god.
This next level is some of the scariest movement you will see. No, not this house, but the next level.
That flower believes in me.
Yeah, I think we all do. The flowers are pretty weird, though. I don't know if I would trust some of them. They speak their mind, at least. You can't argue with that.
Alright, so... Oh, that was a greeting. I pressed the happy button.
What, if you mash X? Is that correct? It will put up like an emote?
Oh, that was not right. Restart that. So that roulette block has a drill that or not a drill, bubble. It also has a drill, but we actually didn't even explain that. No! Alright.
Third time's charm. This level's legitimately like... It's probably not as bad as it looks once you learn the route.
Third time is the charm.
Okay, here we go.
Uh-oh.
So, Nintendo is kind of mean. I still don't really understand the rationale for the power-ups here. So, if at any point in the level you quit and restart, or just pause and restart, you revert back to the state you were at the beginning of the level. So when you're practicing, if you just want to practice a little over and over and over, you can. But if you die in a level, you're permanently locked out. Like, even if you restart at this point, now you're only going to be restarting from the point that you respawn from dying. And also it will take your checkpoint away.
Alright, so we're going to take the L on that one. We're going to... I don't know why. I just can't get it. Alright, as long as I can hit this. There.
If it's not very clear to everybody yet, this is a really hard game. This is not an easy speed run. Like, every level has many points where you can make mistakes, and those mistakes are, I wouldn't say the run's fragile, like, because there's still plenty of backups you can do that are not ideal, but at least like you can continue. But It's sort of like Celeste in a way. Like if you don't clear a level in Celeste, like on the first, like from the start, then your rhythm is all off, and you have to learn a whole nother rhythm, which is like restarting, and that's like a different cycle, right? So it's kind of like that.
This level is a perfect example of that. I'm in a funk. Like,
Yeah.
it's really weird right now because I died.
Yeah, not having the same power up means like it's like the level hasn't changed and the strats don't necessarily change, but your movement is just different enough that your muscle memory now doesn't really apply. Oh, that was very, very close. Okay. I believe. Look at that.
Hey, and I at least
That's
finished it.
Any one of those jumps goes wrong, you're dead. You have to start the whole level over, right? So
I did collect the checkpoint, I think. Yeah, I'm giving really weird inputs. Those bubbles do not happen on my other controller. Ugh, I spent too much money on this one.
take that controller back.
I gotta find the box. I don't remember where I put it. Did I throw it away? I cleaned my room. No.
I want to see the manager. Is what I will say.
All right, so we finished all the seeds. It was a very messy ride to get here. Do I dare look at my timer? Oof, oof.
No, never do that.
I'm doing it.
The point of this is to have fun and showcase the run, and I feel like we're doing both. So, all right, we've made it to the palace. So that's kind of how World 6 works, right?
What's up?
That's kind of how this World 6 works. Like you dive down and get some of the seeds that are lower, and then you kind of warp back up. The palace is actually sort of at the beginning of the level progression.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do the scary jump?
Oh, absolutely. I did the scary jump.
Okay.
Oh wait, did I collect checkpoint? If I did, it should be fine to try again. I did.
Yeah, this level gives bubble as well, so.
Yeah, so we're gonna go for it again.
Bless the levels of bubble.
Scary jump usually isn't too scary for me, but I do like having P speed here.
You have to be at the right speed. You have to crouch and bubble while you're crouching, and if you're even the slightest bit too high, you will hit the lava on the top, or the poison, I guess. I don't know what it is. The bog, whatever.
Acid.
Yeah. Acid's probably actually correct, so sure. This is our
first time seeing Bowser.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, I don't think we've been in a fight. Anyway, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So just jump on Bowser Jr.
Which is surprisingly tight. The timing is so annoying. It is so much harder than it looks.
This one.
Like if you, even when he kind of ends that animation and becomes active to be hit on the head, if you're several frames early or late, even though it looks like you should be able to hit him, like he's not doing an attack, you'll just bounce off and it won't do any damage. And so learning the timing it's like harder than just visually reading it. You have to kind of have a muscle memory for it too, and be ready to recover if you're just slightly early or late.
I like to have Elephant for this. I just have been told that that's slow.
Maybe for PB attempts.
Oh my god! That was such a weird
rising head hit. Yeah, let's go.
All right, so that is we're out.
That's the big one. What kind of are each of the royal seeds like a different fruit? Are they all the same fruit? Just different colors? Have we figured out what Prince Florian is yet? Is he a young Wiggler?
I've always been on like Team Young Wiggler.
Okay. Because he's like the prince of the Poplins, but he doesn't look anything like the Poplins. I'm just saying I need clarification
big,
here.
So who's to say? They can be pretty small.
Yeah, that's true. So that's World 6. That's one of the 3 royal seeds that we need. We're basically all the way through World 4 as well. We just have to return when we have enough purple coins to purchase the remaining seeds from the shop. And so kind of what we've got left is all of World 5, and then the conclusion of Petal Isles, which is like the Bowser stages. And so at this point, do you need more Petal Isle seeds to get into World 5? No, right? Because you already hit the threshold for 6, yeah. Okay. Yeah, weirdly, even though 4 through 6 are open world, they all require different levels of Petal Isle seeds. So it's not like you can just decide to go to World 6 first. You would have to meet a much higher threshold to go to World 6 first than World 4 first. So the game still tries to kind of guide you in the order of 4, 5, 6, but it is optional to break that order. And yeah, at the end of every... It's Bowser Jr., right?
Yeah.
Bowser Jr. I always get like Baby Bowser, Bowser Jr., Bowser Light, I don't know, mixed up. So I just want to make sure. Okay, cool. So at the end, the conclusion of every Bowser Jr. fight, you've got just like a lot of waiting to do. You have to kind of wait till that fight concludes. You meet back up at the Poplands and kind of have a little story moment. You go back out to Petal Isles and sort of use the Royal Seed to take some of Bowser's power away. It's a little, that's like a good chunk of this, this runtime is just sitting in those scenes. And then of course transitioning from that immediately to a house that starts, it's basically a mashing cutscene at the beginning of each world as well. The flower says, "I'm so lonely," and then we just leave. So
I feel nothing.
The Poplin has walked about 20 feet away from their house. So this is variety. This is not the same house. No. All right, so what's the flow of this world going to be like? What are we going to do that takes advantage of glitches to change the progression?
Yeah, so this world, it basically expects you to get like 6 seeds up top and then go down the path. We're actually going to collect all 11 seeds up top, and then we're going to just ignore the levels on the path down, going straight to the final level. Oops, why'd I do that? That was silly.
And that's unfortunate because we can actually use the clipping to fall all the way down to like the final level, but that level doesn't become active until the previous level has been cleared.
Okay. That's a new death. First time.
For those that wondering, I have not met a single person that is preparing for a marathon run that does not discover a new way to die in the days preceding the event. It is a very, unfortunately, it is. Oh, it's quiz time! It's quiz time. All right, chat. What does a bluebird blow?
Well, now we have the answer. We were asking earlier.
I didn't even know that was like quiz question.
I've never seen that question before. We're also getting asked questions we don't know the answers to.
Yep, we've never seen Master Poplin. We've never heard him say "Hadoo-doo." And if you haven't played Mario Wonder, I just sounded like a crazy person, but
not sure why it's not. It must be because I'm using elephant. Oh gosh. Well, technically, I'm still ahead of estimate.
Yes, that's all that matters. And you know what?
Never. Oh my god.
See, okay. Does that mean you have to do the quiz over?
No,
because you got the seed. Okay. That was just a few seconds.
Yeah, no, this is not it.
Tiny baby Mario. Yeah, this is a weird one because this world doesn't... You just want an extra 10 coin.
I don't even want it. I'm on
flower visit.
My
that flower's upside down. That's cool. This world doesn't have a palace. Like when you get to the final world, you just sort of collect the royal seed. So the palace, for lack of a better term, is the poison ruins. Is that? I think that's the name of the level. Yeah. And in exchange for the palace level, you get to have the first half of the level be very difficult movement, and then the second half of the level have a jump that is either sick looking or instant death. And so
I'm back to
Item
I
Park.
would rather just play the levels with bubble
Yeah, of
than
course.
kind
Item
of
Park is a
figure
very
it out
quick
on the
pivot,
fly.
especially in a marathon, to just get your items back and get back on track. Yep. Especially now that we all know that if you go to Item Park and you get items, you can just leave, right? And you keep them. Yeah, just in case some new people came in, I just want you to know that Item Park, you can leave and keep your items. I didn't know about it, so I'm fated to explain
Spreading
it
the word.
forever. That's another one I don't ever play. Break time levels are wonderful though, especially for the speedrun, because they're over in just a few seconds, and it's like you get the same seed that you'd get anywhere else.
All right, this next level is actually kind of hard. Light switch. The gimmick of this level is that things are invisible. They're there, and you have to hit a switch so that you can see them. We're not going to hit the switch. See if I can get a clean light switch. Oh, well, I forgot to switch back. Why did I didn't even need to switch to spin badge. Oops. I didn't need to switch to it in the first place.
You didn't need to do that fast acceleration either, but you did.
I do that one, yeah. Then do good stairs so that I have P speed. And do jumps. That's my notes for this level. Do jumps.
Yeah,
2 bubble jumps, and then a twirl. That gets that coin. It's a pretty tricky one to get. And then there's an invisible stair here. Bubble jump over it, and that was actually pretty good.
perfect.
No problems
Yep.
with that one.
This game is very technical, and you do have to be able to execute over many levels at a very high level to get a good PB, right? But the flip side of that is that there's a lot of people that run the game, and there's a lot of tutorials. There's a lot of examples. There's a lot to study. So it's like if you want to commit to a game like this, it may look really intimidating from sort of, going from a casual player's perspective to seeing a complete run with all of the muscle memory for a seasoned runner. But
the muscle memory's not memorying.
Yeah, it's nerves. It's okay. We're doing fine. You get to see some pumpkins in this level, so it's all good. But yeah, you build that muscle memory up over time, right? As long as you're committed and you're okay spending the time to kind of learn the levels, you'd be surprised at how quickly it accrues. I was really shocked. I'd never run a Mario game before. I wanted to try my hand at just like how hard would it be to learn to get like a decent PB, and it is a lot harder in some ways than I thought. Like getting to the level of pulling off like fast acceleration or some of these tricks can be very difficult, but I think you'd be surprised at how quickly you could get to like 80 to 90% of a good time. And if you just take it slow and steady, you can learn games like this, and they're a lot less intimidating, I think, than they might appear. That was so clean.
That was actually really good.
Yeah,
I don't ever go for those fast accelerations. I don't know why I did here. Oh well, it worked.
Very nice. I'm too scared to do dash on this. I'm still with the lowly parachute.
Parachute?
Yeah. That's why, whatever the default, I don't know, the cap, like, it looks like a parachute. It looks like a paraglider. It looks like the Breath of the Wild paraglider. It's your hat, I know, whatever. What is it called in the game? The default one, the one you get the very beginning of World 1.
Yeah, you use that for Upstream?
Yeah, I use it on like most. I want to be consistent, right? So like anytime I'm on a good run, I was very nervous about failing this far into the game because all Royal Seeds is like a 2+ hour run. So I would always take it pretty easy. But you know, I think that's just kind of a. You got to be careful when you join communities where there's like a lot of competitive running, because a lot of the conversation will mostly revolve around what is the absolute best way to do something. And so if you're chasing PBs and you're in a position to kind of like vie for world record, what's reasonable to do and what's not reasonable to do is very strict. Like if somebody finds a 1.5 time save, you got to learn it, you got to do it, or you're not going to be competitive. But if you're just playing the game to say like, hey, I really like this game and I'd like to try the speed run and I'd like to post, and my target time is like a, I don't know, like a 140 or a something like that. That's not really competing for top 10, but is still like needs a lot of practice and execution. Then that means you have a lot more options.
140 is the goal for this run, honestly.
In a marathon setting, I mean, as like a PB, but still, yeah, like
I'm talking about this run specifically. If it's a 140, I'm happy. That's where I'm at with this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's not going well.
So it's all a matter of perspective, right? Like speedrunning doesn't have to be world record chasing. It's totally valid to do that if you think you're capable of that. But if you're just trying to like, hey, I really love Mario Wonder, and I want to just like try to go really fast and have like expression of fast movement through a game that I like, there's lots of options. You can choose to like, oh, I'm gonna lose 30 seconds here just because I like doing this a different way. And if that's okay with you, then that's totally valid. And that's why I use parachute. And I'm and also because I don't know. I had a limited amount of time to devote to this game, so but yeah.
All right, next up is Tumble House. This is just another break time, but we're gonna spawn in Yoshi. Right about now, and we're gonna have to get through this.
Still a deceptively difficult level. If you mess up at the beginning,
Uh-oh.
And it starts turning on you, it can be hard to recover.
Oops. Okay. All right, we have one more out of bounds. It's actually a different kind because we're going to be clipping onto these question block, or the question block here. So I'm going to line up. I'm gonna hope this is it. Oh my god, I got it.
Easy.
Okay. Yeah, so then now we're out of bounds. We're going to fall down to the last level from here. So let's just try and land on it right there.
So we're skipping a couple rather long levels.
Yeah. Believe it or not, doing all of Light Switch and Tailies is faster than and the other break time. Oops, I forgot to switch. I'm holding off dying right now. 1 second.
And by that you mean a cough, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm exploding on camera.
I'm just looking out. This level's pretty hard. The bubble jump at the end is it's not that hard once you get it down, but it was one that's scary. This level was like the one where my heart rate started increasing as you know, because it's so close to the end of the run, and it's you need.
I wish I got
bubble.
runs here. I lost one yesterday that got here on a decent pace. Uh-oh. Well, I'm ahead on coins. Like, wow,
Okay.
I'm ahead on coins. I'm also behind on jump skill. Yeah, I did have to enter Hurry Hurry twice, so that picked up extra coins. But I don't need the coins in this at all. So we're just going to, we're actually opening that early. Then...
So, I know if you're Luigi, it's Guigi. Of course. But if you're Mario...
I haven't thought of it. Okay. I don't know.
Let's a goo, I think is what they would say. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna log off right now.
That's better than what I was ever gonna say.
Also, that jump, we missed the
Wait, did I do the
absolutely
hard jump already?
terrifying jump. Yes, you did. You just muscle memoried right through one of the hardest tricks in this world.
Oh yeah,
but yeah.
that. I don't know how I just didn't even think of mentioning it, but that jump is like one of the scary ones.
If you're too early, you won't have the distance, and you'll die because you hit the acid. But if you're too late, you'll hit the Koopa, which will bounce you and you'll lose your momentum. So it's like, it's actually a really tight window. I guess you could kind of hit the Koopa from the side and take damage, and that's not that big of a deal. I mean, it loses
Yeah,
time,
that's
but
usually what happens.
yeah.
It's very minor. All right, we're through.
Yeah, for whatever reason, when you're in like the alternate form, like that goo form, you sort of have a couple, you can take one hit before dying. But when you recover back to normal Mario, like you haven't lost anything. So it's sort of almost like a different life pool.
Yeah. Well, we're getting through it. I'm
And
just
so that
ready
was
for...
essentially the palace, right? Like that was the last level of World 5. So what we've got left is we're gonna essentially transition from this world right
What have I
over to
done?
World
That was
4.
weird. I thought that this was like a cutscene for whatever reason. We're talking like it's a
Well,
palace.
this is a cutscene.
Yeah.
This is a playable cutscene.
Gonna try and shoot 2 bubbles here so we can hit that bulb early. Oh, I was also trying to land on that bubble in midair, but it didn't happen. Very minor time save, if one at all. I just think it looks cool.
This level is so weird. I think a lot of the community is still kind of like, what were you thinking? Like, we just played the goo level.
Not only that, there was another goo level that we skipped.
And then, like, you don't do anything here. You just play through that little segment for a few seconds. You find the lost poplins. And then they just give you a royal seed. Like, it's very strange. It's very weird that there's
I think
no
they had a seed
fight.
quota to hit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we need one more for this world. The numbers aren't looking very good. And make another level.
Yeah, but like it's so weird that there's no palace. They just kind of decided this is going to be different. But you can tell they're trying to sort of roll off of the standard formula with this game. World 3 doesn't have a palace either. You just kind of get to the end and they just give you the seed as well. So it's interesting. It's good to see them taking chances. I mean, I think the game overall, while it does lean maybe a little bit on the easier side casually, is just like a bundle of fun. Like it's just so fun to play through this game casually from beginning to end, except the last level of the game, which sucks. But yeah, I guess you can use Nabbit, whatever. Run 100%. It's only a 6-hour run. You got this.
I think it's down to like 4 hours now.
Well, that's still too many.
Yeah. All right, so we actually don't need 2 players anymore.
Woo! We're back to the glitchless. Not well, are we? Yeah, I think so. Actually.
Yeah, there's not really anything left.
So we're just gonna go to World 4 and with the coins we have buy what 2 seeds? It's like a 30 coin seed and a 100 coin seed. There's technically a 200 coin seed there as well, but there's no world. Yeah, there's no world where we'd have enough.
There's actually also a shop right by the Ninja jump level. And we've actually considered routing that in, but since all of World 4 is actually pretty quick, we don't really gain anything from trying to route that one in specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of break time levels. There's a lot of really short levels in World 4. And a lot of them can combo with the Wonder Flower too, so you usually get 2 seeds out of it. Oh, drill is so nice in this level. I wish you could experience.
I have actually learned a lot of all royal seeds, and drill was the item of choice in this level for a while in any percent.
Oh, that's right. It's all jet run now. Boo!
Jet run is cool.
It is very cool. It is very cool. It's just like one of those badges that it's like now that it's faster, you can't argue to do anything more diverse. Like you just kind of have to do that. Yeah,
I've
it's the
always
water
been on
one.
Team Jet Run.
It's fun. It's definitely a fun badge.
Back when we weren't sure if it was faster, I'm absolutely on Team Jet Run.
What do you like about Jet Run?
It's fast.
Okay. That's it. All right. A purist. I see. I see. It's so for a long time I thought Jet Run was actually faster than Dash. I didn't realize it was the same speed. It's just faster acceleration, but the Coyote frames make up the difference. You can just like run over small gaps and you don't fall at all, so it's very nice.
Yeah, I think so. I think the management of the movement is interesting. Making cycles just by holding right is pretty cool.
Oh, right, because there is no fast acceleration, right? It's just, or
Yeah.
there is, but it's like so minor that it's never really worth doing.
Oh, I wanted to hit Bowser there, but when he's flashing red, this phase is giving him some iframes.
It's those water bubbles again. It's funny because it's like this level is thematically accurate. Like Bowser Jr. has stolen all the water, and that's why it's like a desert, I guess, or like that's why there's a drought. But it is weird to have played like an entire desert level and then get to the boss, and it's like the water boss. Like, oh right, no, this is not a. And then the desert boss is like in World 6, so, or at least it's hot. I don't know. It's close enough. So that's it. That's our 6th, or well, according to the game, it's our 6th royal seed, but it's actually only the 3rd we've received. And even though there will still be like the evil, creatures surrounding Bowser in the middle of the Petal Isles, it will just transition to the ending anyway.
I gotta point out my cat. She's just chilling here.
She knows what's up.
She's gonna help.
With Knucklefest.
Here, hold on to that, please.
So, like I mentioned earlier, like when you finish a palace, you're just kind of... It's not even like you can take a break, because you still have to skip through a lot of dialogue. Or not a lot, but enough that you can't just like put the controller down, walk away for 3 minutes, and come back. But it's like pretty close to that. So, when I was running...
This run does not have any bathroom breaks.
Yeah. Well, if you're fast, I don't know. Or you could just take the controller and keep pressing A. As long as your range is good.
Whatever. I remember watching a Super Paper Mario runner where the runner, he just straight up had another TV set up in his room, or in his bathroom. So he's playing in the bathroom.
And
he's
that's
like,
where we'll leave that discussion.
Now. Oh yeah.
No, this is actually it's almost exactly the length of a Twitch ad break is the end of it. So I'm just saying it's actually great that you can just kind of clear those pre-rolls while you're waiting on cutscenes to finish. Very convenient of Nintendo. So we're transitioning into, I think this is still technically considered part of Petal Isles, but like it's just like Bowser's Castle, basically. Yeah, well, there you go, Castle Bowser. I had it backwards, but we've got what, four levels, and then the final level. Is that right? Am I missing one? I think it's 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 4.
Very, very, very clean movement in this level. This one's like a bit intimidating to pull off because you need to stay on fast cycle and need to count your jumps and stuff in the second screen, but
I'm picking up a backup bubble because my strat for Knucklefest requires damage boost of the bubble, and also I want the bubble later on.
The intended mechanic in this level is to ride on top of the missiles, but so because of that, the world is very wide open. So you're just kind of bubble bouncing across very large gaps, and you also have to avoid the Wonder Flower here. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a... God,
That's
it's
what I
always
mean.
this level.
It's that the movement has to be so clean. It's like there's so and also this it's like this isn't a complicated level, but it being so close to the end of the run and needing such clean execution on the bubble is very intimidating, or it was for me. Like it's like you have to get those timings just right, and it's short enough that there's no reason to hit the checkpoint. So
Uh-huh.
I know Knucklefest is hard, but I tended to relax a little bit more after this level. Oh, so there was an attempt there to save it, which was a very good call. That ground pound might have given just enough vertical movement to catch that platform. It usually does, so I think that was the right call, but
I don't know what's up. This is not it.
see, that's the reason I do parachute, is because I have no faith in myself. So at least you have some, and you're giving it a good effort, and I believe this is the one. And I should never say that, but it doesn't matter. I put it out there. I believe. And there you go.
Okay. Those are not particularly difficult jumps. For whatever reason, I was just so adamant on doing like the perfect bubble jumps that I took that first death, and then those are death loops. You get into that mentality where you are stuck and you're just expecting death over and over again. Oh, I died once, I'm gonna die again, and I'm gonna die after that.
Not unlike bouncing off of a Dark Souls boss or something. It's like going into the grinder for a while.
It's not a skill thing, it's more of a mentality thing.
Right.
And any percent is a brutal category. I haven't really talked about it, but like I've been grinding this like for like weeks at this point, getting ready for GDQ, just trying to push my PB lower and lower. So my PB is a 126.36. I'm probably like not going to finish any faster than a 140 because that's just how hard this category is.
Yeah, the individual strats are very, very fragile. Like if you're aiming for fastest possible, then any mistake is going to cost you quite a bit of time. And over the number of levels that you're aiming to be perfect in, it's, marathon estimate is probably going to be quite a bit higher than like PB potential.
Yeah, my estimate's 145. I should be under that. I hope I'm under that.
Yeah, but the last level is kind of it's an auto scroller, so we know there's like a fixed amount of time, like around 7 minutes, I think, for the last level.
Yeah. This level's not too long though.
Yeah, the preceding levels are very short compared. And it's kind of nice because, I mean, it's not nice from a speedrunner perspective, but once you hit that level, you can't slow it down really.
This level's a break. Wow, I hit that but then went through? That was weird. I would like to see that again.
See, I always go for the elephant here because I go slow.
I was watching the replay because I'm like, that's never happened before.
Yeah, the presence of acid throughout the level is a little intimidating, but it's pretty straightforward. There's only a few, like maybe 3 instances where you have to know the strat to avoid it, and it's not too bad. I think it looks a little more intimidating than it is. Especially with Bubble, because you can use Bubble to like light those flowers earlier than you can actually access them, so it smooths over the level a little bit more as well. Oh, so clean. You can almost slide all the way under that, but not quite, so it's definitely faster to go over. Okay, Knucklefest.
Knucklefest. This is usually the level that I lose all the time in.
Yeah, it's a run killer for sure. Because if you take the optimal path here, it's very, very, very dangerous. Like, taking a safer line in this level costs like tens of seconds. So there's a lot of pressure to go the fastest route, but it's very
I'm going to do the stupid thing.
the crouch jump here.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I hope you can see what I'm talking about because we start off with 2 ridiculous bubble jumps followed by damage boosts and then another ridiculous jump. I don't know if we've ever mentioned this, but the spin jump has been in Mario games for a while. But you can kind of maintain your elevation in a jump or in a fall by using the trigger button to just spin, and it just for a few frames you remain kind of locked at the current level you're at, and you can do that repeatedly every so often to maintain momentum. Or not, I mean, you are maintaining momentum, but you're maintaining your height as well.
That was really clean, actually.
Redemption arc. Now the weird thing about this level is it's timed to the music. So if you like reach cues too early or too late, sometimes platforms won't appear. So not only do you have to kind of be paying attention to Thank you for illustrating how terrifying that is. More than once.
We're through!
But now it's an auto-scroller. Yeah, now you just have to wait.
That is really hard. This whole level is one of the hardest of the run, and it's like the one before the last one, right?
Yeah, and if you fail, you have to do the whole like music sequence over again.
Oh yeah. And we're through.
Okay, 1 to go. This last level's not really. I'd say it's more of like a job well done, right? Like it's like a. It is a boss fight, but it's much more spectacle than challenge. There's definitely some challenge to the speed tech in the fight, but it's sort of like a hype moment at the end of the run as opposed to like a very difficult level.
All right. I'm ready for this run to be over. It's been fun showing this run off, but yeah, ideally it would be a little bit faster than this.
You are still going to be way underestimate. So
I guess.
I think, yeah, which should inspire a lot of confidence, because that means that even if it goes this bad, you'll still have 8 minutes or so to spare. Well, that's my guess anyway. About 7 minutes, somewhere around there. No spoilers though. No spoilers. Yeah.
I could be really stupid. We can always be worse.
That's true. I mean, maybe, but 1, you won't, and 2, this game's cool either way. It's not about being really good. It's about being consistent, being able to explain the game, being able to show off, being able to let people that had a great time with this casually be super impressed. So this level is kind of recapping your adventure. We haven't seen a lot of that in the run, but almost all of the elements that kind of appear throughout this auto-scroller segment are just references to previous levels that we've experienced. So weirdly in the run, it's like the first time you're seeing a lot of these things, but trust me, all of them had a level.
I'm like, how much of this have you actually seen?
Yeah, like almost none. You're not even gonna see the charging. All right, well that can happen.
Oh. All right.
See, better to learn now. That's fine. Let's go.
Ah, fuck.
Let's get some hype in chat. This is the last level. This is such a wonderful music sequence. We need to hear it a little bit more.
I got too chill and just started like just killing time as.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Honestly, that is a real, that is like a challenge with speedrunning, especially in an auto scroller. Anytime you're used to executing at a really high level in something like a platformer, or you know, any other thing that requires like a lot of mechanical complexity with inputs, whenever you're stuck in a segment like a cutscene or some kind of semi-interactive cutscene or an auto scroller, you do kind of have a harder time staying focused on what to do, even if it's very easy. Like, that's a real challenge. There are definitely segments of games that I've run before where like it is a boredom check in some ways. Like, you have to be, it's very hard to stay like on
I'm
when
bored.
you are, yeah, when you're not doing anything, right? Like, it's hard to stay engaged, especially if you've played an auto scroller many times. I take damage all the time in the airships because it's like, even though it's interesting, it's like I know I can't do anything to speed it up, so I start to become disengaged. Your mind starts to kind of wander, and then you make really seemingly, like, if you're viewing, they look like dumb mistakes. But trust me, it's harder to stay focused in some of these segments than you think. Also, we do get to see the piranhas, and then Jank kills all of them. That's fine. They're happy. Either way.
No, they're dead.
Well,
they're
you
burning.
know, death is a suggestion in Mario, so. Yeah, you don't get to see any of the levels that this is referencing. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Not even this
honestly,
mechanic. This one scares me, though. You can still hit the acid here, and it's just like instant death. But what does that flower say?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
You've really come a long way, haven't you?
Yeah,
And
this cutscene's like, or this auto scroller is like 3.5, 4 minutes long, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's also like a multiple minute long Bowser fight.
Yeah, who's counting?
Unfortunately, I'm not even going to have an attempt at an optimal one because I lost the bubble. So I have the spin badge, but I forgot.
It's pretty close. The spin badge gets you most of the way there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like the flower that says you've come a long way, because every time you're on PB pace.
Let me up! I don't have an elephant to boost me.
So how does this fight work? There's like, Bowser has like a weak spot that becomes visible on the bottom, and then hands appear, and you have to kind of destroy those to get that button to reappear. And it's like it's like what, 4 phases? It's like center. He shows up in the center, then he shows up on the right.
I couldn't explain it. I barely know how to do it well.
Ian, it is the new Star Fox game, yeah. This is actually the secret E3 reveal. We'll all look back later and think, how could we have been so blind to what Nintendo is doing next? Star Fox Kart has long been rumored, and it started here. But yeah, so like, we've got to hit Bowser twice for each phase. He starts in the middle. We've done that twice. Then there's sort of a auto-scroller segment where enemies come from the side of the screen. And then now we have to attack on the right side. You're going to go for early cycle here. I still don't know how this works. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I got that hit just a little bit early. Oh my god. No! I'm really bad with rhythm-based things.
Yeah, this is a fun...
This is... Hit there.
Because this game has to be captured over HDMI, of course, because you're running on console, this can be a bit of a nightmare if your connection desyncs even a little bit, which definitely did happen to me at the end of a PB run, and I had to like anticipate that I needed to jump about half a second before I heard the call out in the song, and so that was fun. That was a great experience for me personally. But we're in
naturally poor rhythm.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm giving you an out here. No, then we get a bubble back here. Now after you don't need it, you get a nice bubble. But we've only got one main phase left until you kind of get into the end game here. This time the weak spot, Bowser's head, will start showing up on the left side. But there is no quick kill for that one. Do you know why that is? Like, why can you get a quick hit in on the right side and not the left side?
I think you can get a quicker hit. I'm not super familiar with it. It's just the hands are pretty good at being in the way. Like, that already syncs up pretty well.
Right, yeah. It doesn't seem like there's a faster way. Because when he's on the right side, you're kind of bouncing off the top of the hand to get like a little bit of an extra boost into the weak spot, but...
Oh, I thought I was going to get it. There, good enough.
Yeah, when you're timing your jumps to the beat of the song in the same way that you would have in oh no, Ninja. I always say Ninja Dance Party, which is absolutely not the name of the level.
Close
Ninja
enough.
Jump Party,
Ninja Disco Party or something. I don't even know now that I think about it.
Same mechanic, but when you launch off the platforms here, you get like you get a little special power in there. Oh, there it is.
Boom.
That's time.
Well, we finished. That's all I can say.
It was less than 140 and way underestimate. So fantastic job. Thank you for showcasing this run. When are we gonna see it next?
Yeah. So I might do some attempts before I leave, or the big GDQ run is going to be on Friday night, tentatively set for like 4:45, I think. But things get pushed back a lot, so we're just follow the schedule on that.
Sometime Friday night.
Sometime in the near future.
Eastern.
Oh yeah, Eastern.
Yes.
I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed after this.
Yeah, don't practice yourself without sleep, but you've got some time, and you're already plenty good enough to hit that estimate and show off. What a fantastic run.